Hi, news just came through that VidMe, the YouTube alternative, is shutting down. They just couldn't find a way to sustain themselves financially, and it's basically gonna be gonski. Let's have a look at the it's a Medium post by Warren Schaefer, who's the VidMe co-founder of VidMe. Goodbye for now. VidMe came a long way as an independent platform, but we couldn't find a path to sustainability. We're building something new, and I'll link to this down below. It's actually quite comprehensive, and they go into all sorts of stats and things. So we'll go into a bit of detail on this. Now, I haven't read it all yet, by the way, so I'll read it and I'll give you my reaction to this. Now, is this surprising? Unfortunately, not really. Look, I was a big supporter of, I was a supporter of VidMe, as I am for all the alternative platforms out there. I've done a video on this on alternative platforms. I'm on Vimeo, I'm on BitChute, I'm on Library.io, I'm on Steemit, I'm on, kind of was on Dailymotion, but they kind of, I dropped off on that, but I've got 800 videos on there, and so I'm on pretty much every alternative platform you pretty much can be. So I definitely supported VidMe, and it's a shame that they're gone, but is it surprising? Not really. Unfortunately, the one thing I really liked about VidMe is that when I go to upload a video here, uploading disabled. See, I can't even upload any more videos now, but I could just cut and paste my YouTube URL and it would copy everything. It'd copy the video over in slightly less quality, but it was still acceptable. It'd just copy it all over, so I didn't have to re-upload the original content. It would copy over the description, the title, the thumbnail. It'd copy over, I think did it copy over keywords or something, but it copied over like everything. All I had to do was that one post. It was like 2 clicks. I just go upload, paste, enter, boom, and it was done. A few quirks with it. It didn't automatically post to the tech thing. It wouldn't automatically suck in videos, which I thought was a shame. It wouldn't allow me to bulk upload and then publish all my old videos. Was a bit painful, but you know, they were getting there. And, you know, I was getting some views on there, you know, 20 views, like, you know, it's nothing spectacular, 122 views, but I was getting upvotes and I was getting comments, and a few people kindly used the tip jar, was it, to donate some money. So, you know, it was kind of sort of on its way, but I was never blown away by it in terms of what it offered me as a content creator. Because creating content and maintaining it online, reading the comments, responding to the comments, and you know, like doing all the stuff that a content creator has to do to maintain their audience and connect with their audience, it's practically a full-time job, even for someone who doesn't do it as a full-time job. And supporting multiple platforms, at the level you need to build up an audience is really difficult. So I pretty much, on these alternative platforms, I pretty much only focused on YouTube. So yeah, but there just wasn't the incentive there to move over. There wasn't any financial incentive at all. It was more of like yeah, I support you, here you go. I'm uploading my content on there. I'd be directing people there sometimes if they didn't like YouTube, but it didn't offer anything like remarkable in terms of search capability, categorization, and you know, other things like that. Now, one of the big things about YouTube is that more than half of my views come from YouTube searching and suggested videos. I'll show you that this is for the last month. Like 42% of my views came from suggested videos on other people's videos. And then 27 came from the browse features, people just browsing around the place. And YouTube search is like 8% or something. But basically, YouTube is like the world's second biggest search engine, apart from Google, of course, and it's the world's biggest, by orders of magnitude, video search engine. Nothing even comes close. So for a content creator to move to another platform and fully support another. I get this all the time. Like every time I post a demonetization thing, one of my videos is demonetized, I'll post on Twitter, everyone will go, oh, go to VidMe, just quit YouTube and move to VidMe. Only a complete and utter fool would move from YouTube, because it is the place where audiences find you. There is simply no other competition. And this is where I think I hate to say it, but it's probably going to be next to impossible for another platform to actually come up and compete with that. Maybe, the likes of, I don't know, Amazon or somebody like that could potentially do something like that. But it's just not there. YouTube is the platform of choice, and there's nobody else that even comes close. There's lots of Vimeo's nice, for example. The video quality is higher than YouTube, but it's and I get some views on my Vimeo page and stuff like that, but there's no interaction, and it's just nobody searches for videos on Vimeo and stuff like that. There's just no contest, really, in that regard. So for VidMe to actually entice content creators like myself over, they would have had to have provided some sort of financial benefit to do so. And I know it doesn't always come down to money, but at the end of the day, full-time content creators who are doing it full-time as their business, right, have to pay their bills. They've got to eat. And at the end of the day, they're going to go for the platform that pays the most money. And if platforms want to compete with YouTube, they have to, especially with like exclusive content, rather than just be an alternative where you also upload your material as like a backup or secondary thing. If they want exclusive content like Netflix and other places pay big money for to get exclusive content, then they have to actually entice content creators over financially to produce independent content for them. Otherwise, it's just being an alternative platform isn't enough. There needs to be some more, some greater financial incentive there for content creators to move over. Anyway, let's go into what they say here. After careful consideration, the VidMe team has arrived at a difficult decision to suspend VidMe site and apps effectively December 15th at noon. We will use this blog post to explain what this means for users. New sign-ups and uploads will be disabled effective today. Existing videos will be playable and exportable until December 15. Will be permanently, at which point, permanently deleted from the VidMe servers. Wow, okay, so it's all gonski. Lucky it's just backup content. I haven't uploaded any exclusive content there. All paid channel subscriptions will be suspended. Subscriber-only videos are only available to the video owners. Any outstanding earnings will be paid. Paid subscriptions will cease. The good thing is they just went, we're done. We're just going to stop it as of today. So that's really good. No subscribers are going to be billed. Fantastic. Why we started VidMe. We started VidMe before we could afford the shortest in 2014 with the mission of helping the next generation entertainers find their audience and earn a living. At the time, YouTube was the only major platform that provided revenue sharing, a system which neglected creators with small or niche audience. Was confident we could create a new type of video platform, one that was more community oriented, more transparent, and more equitable to creators. Unfortunately, I didn't see any of that. They said you could monetize content, but it's just, if you don't get that search views, there's not that critical mass of views coming in, even if you've got a high CPM figure, even if you have $50 a CPM, that's 1,000 views. Like the views I was getting on Vimeo were tiny, right? They were, like 13, 50, like even if it was $50 or $100 per CPM, which is cost per 1,000 views, it's just, the money is not, the financial incentive is not going to come in there to do it, unfortunately. So yeah, it's almost a chicken and egg kind of thing. You got to have that critical mass before you could start, or as I mentioned, pay the content creators to produce exclusive content for your channel, which they, as far as I'm aware, they didn't really do that, or not on a big scale that I heard of anyway. Oh, they certainly didn't approach me, but I'm just some small tech channel, niche thing, so it's not like I had a big mainstream audience. I'm not a PewDiePie or a Phil DeFranco or someone like that. We were confident we could create a new type of video platform. I've done that. Curators, both viewers and curators, allowing the community to surface trending content. I'm not sure the trending thing ever worked. I think there was a lot of criticism for that, but I never really used it hugely myself, so I don't know. Given the large market opportunity, video ad spend is $84 billion in the US alone. Wow. And the impending shift from linear television viewing towards digital videos, we believe, could, I mean, I get so many comments from people saying YouTube is the only thing they watch, so that they just don't watch television anymore. On-demand content, YouTube or Netflix or something like that is the only thing they watch. What we accomplished. Our first feature was one-step video publishing tool, simply drag and drop. No need, no account required. I never use that. I don't. That's kind of like the, the Imgur model for images. Like I love imgur.com. I don't need an account. I just cut and paste my image into there and I can get a link, which then I can put somewhere else. But that doesn't make money for them, so I'm not sure. Anyway, at time, video sharing was more difficult. Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, and other didn't have the native video. It was often impossible to send large files over SMS. Yeah, well, that's all changed now. We hosted millions of videos, delivered over 6 billion views to audiences around the world, and unfortunately 6 billion, it's like one YouTube channel alone has, like a big popular one has 6 billion views. I think it's scary. Anyway, but their small team, yeah, they did well. Good on them. Oh, there you go. Some creators were earning thousands of dollars a month using VidMe's fan patronage tools. Well, yeah, that tip jar thing or whatever it was. Patreon just completely, like, everyone's using Patreon. Everyone, especially in 2017, the adpocolypse happened and it decimated like 80, 90% or more, 100% of the revenue of some YouTube channels, which are solely dependent upon the YouTube ad revenue. They were just wiped out totally, and they just had to go to Patreon to get the donations to actually keep their channels going. And now quite a lot of them are earning more on Patreon than they ever did using the YouTube monetization thing, and that's it's fantastic. I've got a Patreon site. I'm not way up there, but it's quite a few. It's a couple of thousand. What am I? $3,000 a month or something, which is awesome. Thank you for everyone who supports me on Patreon. They had less than a dozen full-time employees. That's great. They weren't able to find a path to financial stability. Here are the major obstacles we encountered. This will be good. Monetizing user generation content is increasingly challenging. Advertisers want to target specific audiences, which means a new platform that doesn't store troves of personal user data is at a severe disadvantage relative to Facebook and Google. They control 60% of online ad spending in the US. Wow, that's huge. Not surprising, though. In fact, I thought it might even be higher than that. But yes, that is the case. The number one incentive of advertising on Facebook and Google is that you can target exactly who you want. Advertisers who want to advertise on my channel, they can just target my channel. And their ads will be shown on nothing else except my channel, or I believe they can even target a specific video on my channel if they absolutely want to, and Google will say, yes, we can do that. But in most cases, it's like, we want to target people who search for oscilloscopes. We want to target people who search for, test equipment or electronics tutorials or, engineering or something like that. People who are searching for those keywords, and Google's always tracking you. It knows what you want, whether you have an account with them or not. And Facebook are doing the same thing. And by the way, no, Facebook is not a video platform. It's just one-off things. It's not designed to be searchable. It's not a competitor to YouTube. It's just no way it is. Most advertisers want their ads to complement brand safe content. Yeah, well, this was the whole demonetization adpocolypse thing of 2017, and a lot of it's just complete and utter bullshit. But you can understand companies not wanting their content against anything that might be deemed that they don't agree with or whatever. It's their right. It's their money. They can spend it however they like. But a lot of the adpocolypse was just complete and utter bullshit perpetuated by the dinosaur media. But let's not go there. Anyway, few advertisers are willing to negotiate direct deals with platforms that don't have enormous scale, meaning that ad revenue rates are lower for newer platforms. Yeah, that would be tough. If you're an up-and-coming like VidMe, trying to get those brand deals from the major companies, as I said, they have more than less than 20 staff. I don't know how many would have been brand people, but you would have needed hundreds of full-time staff, probably at least dozens of full-time staff just dedicated to brand generation, getting the brand deals from the major, the players who want to advertise, the ones with the big bucks, who are spending like $1 billion a year on advertising, or hundreds of millions or tens of millions on advertising. You want to entice those in. And how do you entice them in when you don't have the views and all the, and the rest of it, and all the user data, and without tracking people? Yeah, it's no surprise that they didn't survive. Unfortunately, that's just the way online advertising, that's the vicious world that online advertising is. Although we introduced direct fan patronage as an additional, profit margin wasn't sufficient to cover that. It's just everyone's on Patreon, that's it. And with regards to the brand deals, I'm one of the few channels out there, I'm not sure of any other channel that does it, that I went full-time. I've done a video on this full-time when I had 10,000 subscribers 6.5 years ago. And the way I did that is because I have a very popular website and a very popular forum. And luckily, I built that up. And the advertisers come to me directly, all the major advertisers. So these ads you see up the top here and down the side, and the ads you see at the top of the forum here and here, these are the ones that pay the majority of my bills. It's never been the YouTube advertising revenue. Even today, with 500,000 subscribers, 100,000 views a month, 100 million views total, and quite a decent audience, I still could not make a full-time living from just the YouTube ad revenue. Unfortunately, most content creators are not like me. They don't have a popular website and forum where they can do that sort of thing. And by the way, the other area where I get a huge chunk of my income, once again, more than YouTube, is from product sales and things like that. Hence why, I've got a shop on there, and buy my stuff, and I make a big cut. And, I make a reasonable income from that, and it helps pay for the blog. So even if YouTube completely demonetized me, I'd be safe. Unfortunately, most content creators are not in that same boat. So that's really hard for them. Storing and delivering video is becoming less expensive but remains extremely costly. Videos are often massive files. Yeah, no kidding. My average video I've got here we go, I'll pull it in. Look, here we go. Like, these are the file sizes. Like mailbag, 9 gig. The LCD one I just uploaded, 2 gig. MLCC, they're large files. And making them available globally via the CDNs, the content delivery networks, massive. They thought, YouTube was sold to Google because they just couldn't sustain themselves. They had to find a big buyer that had the infrastructure to deliver the content and to have the content and create the content delivery networks required to distribute all this video. People don't realize how much effort is involved, how much expense is involved in delivering the video on demand instantly that they take for granted. And hundreds of millions of videos, however billion videos they've got, it's just like, boom, it just works like that. People don't realize how much of an effort that is. They thought that the infrastructure costs would decline due to increasing competition of CDNs. Yep. They've fallen dramatically, but still outpaced our ability to generate meaningful revenue. So, yeah, it just didn't become cheap enough. Everyone thought, cloud storage is becoming free. There's companies out there that, there's almost no companies left offering free unlimited cloud storage. They've removed all their unlimited plans, just because it's not as cheap as they think. It's cheap, but it's not zero. And when you're playing back video, wow. The definition of scale has changed, and attracting audiences away from existing platforms is harder than ever. 8 of the 10 most popular apps are owned by Google and Facebook. Both companies also have many other apps. Yeah, Facebook, the YouTube app, Facebook Messenger. Don't use any of that bullshit. But search, Maps, Instagram, Snapchat. I don't know what Snapchat is. Pandora, what the hell's that? Gmail, I know. Yeah, so many creators with millions of subscribers on YouTube and Facebook were initially attracted to VidMe's model, but faced difficulty transitioning audiences from their home platforms. Convincing people to use and keep using the new platform is hard, leaving many creators locked in. Both Facebook and YouTube also actively deprecate content shared from, do they? From competing platforms, right, yep. That's the thing. As I said back at the start, you've got to financially incentivize content creators to produce content for you, and exclusive content. Otherwise, if it's just the same content, there's a case to be had for the same content but maybe a week in advance. Like, there was some startup with a model like that I think it's not going great guns now, but like it would share the content on there first, and you can do that on Patreon. You can upload to YouTube or wherever, any platform you want to use, and then release to your patrons first before it becomes available on YouTube and stuff like that. But really, the thing has got to be exclusive content, and there's no financial incentive there to do it, unfortunately. Yeah, it's like, how can you establish yourself, spend a decade establishing yourself on YouTube, and then go, well, here's this, YouTuber been pissing me off with all this demonetization, and here comes this YouTube competitor, VidMe, or whoever it is in the future, and they say, hey, come over here, convince your audience to come over. Why? Like, what's the incentive for me to convince my audience to come over? It's a huge thing. And as I said, like half of my views every month, more than half, come from just organic YouTube searches and things like that. And that's how you grow and sustain an audience. Any YouTube creator who's built up their living on YouTube is a fool if they go anywhere else without being fully financially compensated for doing so. It's just, you've got to eat, unfortunately. That's the practical reality of content creation. Lacking a critical audience size, we struggle to attract direct advertisers to help offset infrastructure costs. Yeah, this is all standard. Like, you could see this coming. Anyone could have predicted this, unfortunately. And unless they offer something drastically different, a new competitor offers something drastically different, they're probably going to go the same way as VidMe, unfortunately. They've been getting lots of, venture capital funding and stuff like that, but that money only lasts so far if they're not turning a profit. In the face of mounting competition and moving goalposts for achieving sufficient scale, the timeline for VidMe's sustainability as an independent platform became uncertain. Yeah, raising additional capital to continue and operate, it became untenable. They just couldn't get any more money. They couldn't entice investors anymore. Anyway, insight for newcomers. This will be good for new startup video alternatives. If you're considering building your own video platform, here are a few suggestions. Monetization. Plan to operate at a loss for an indefinite period of time and or be operated by a deep-pocketed business with multiple revenue streams. Give users of your existing products incentives to engage with your audience, engage with your video platform. They're admitting the same thing. They probably, that's a mistake they made. They didn't offer financial incentives. They mean financial. And be wary of monetizing with advertisements prior to achieving massive scale. Infrastructure costs, explore emerging technologies, peer-to-peer storage. There's a few companies doing that now. Like, as I said, Library.io, Steemit are doing that. The BitChute one and others are, using cryptocurrency and, things like that. Library.io and Steem are cryptocurrency-based thing, peer-to-peer. So there's new things there. Do I think there's a huge future for those? Maybe not. It's going to be hard to break away from that YouTube model, YouTube handling all that. Having a distributed thing sounds great in theory. I'm not convinced it's going to work in practice, though. It's worked for, BitTorrent and, torrents and things like that. But ultimately, like, how many people, your average Joe is not there seeding torrents every day? It's just not happening. It's major players with major servers doing that. Own as much as the physical infrastructure as possible. Yeah, don't just rent it from Amazon Web Services. There's probably half a dozen pitch decks right now at venture capital companies. We're going to start a YouTube alternative because of the adpocolypse, and we're going to just rent the server space from Amazon, and yay, we'll make billions and we'll be the next YouTube. Leverage an existing audience and or incentivize all platform participants by issuing a native currency. Blockchain. Yeah, there you go. So they talk about blockchain. Giving it's money. Blockchain is just money. Bitcoin, Ethereum, whatever. While we're disappointed to close something we put so much of our hearts into, we're excited and eager to apply a new product announcing next year. Unfortunately, not every member of the VidMe team, they're looking. You can hire them away. Great. Excellent. I'm sure they're very talented. It's a shame to see them go. It's good to see that they're trying to get new jobs for them. That's great. Anyway, thank you, VidMe, for trying hard to be an alternative to YouTube. It's sad that it didn't work out, but unfortunately, that was... how can you compete with YouTube? There's got to be something drastically different. YouTube keeps shooting themselves in the foot at every opportunity, and they still, it is still by orders of magnitude, not just a single order, orders of magnitude, the platform of choice compared to anything else in terms of video, content creation, hosting, building an audience, the content delivery network, everything else. There's companies that compete on the content delivery network side of things, but on the community side of things, nobody competes at all. The community and search, it's just the number one place to search. It's like saying I'm going to take on Google in web search. Yeah, good luck. Bing and other ones, whoever, it just, you can't beat the incumbent player for something like that. It's just where people go if they want videos. They go straight to YouTube, and trying to break that is, wow, it's going to need some really deep pockets and deep commitment to hiring content creators to produce exclusive content for them. I don't think there's probably, I'm not going to say it, but well, maybe there are some who only earn their revenue from YouTube. You probably could get them to quit YouTube, and a lot of content creators to quit YouTube and come on over, but they know that popularity side of things, even if they're getting paid, right? Let's say you're getting $100,000 a year as a YouTube content creator now. And let's say a new platform comes along, we'll give you $500,000 a year. We'll give you 5 times more if you come and quit YouTube, bring your audience over, and make exclusive content for us. If they do it, yeah, they're going to get their $500,000 a year. But where's the new audience going to come from? Only a small percentage of their audience are going to move over. Let's say 5-10%. It'd be tops, maybe 20% if you're really lucky. But it's most likely going to be in that single-digit percentage audience move over. And where's the new audience going to come from? And they might eventually tire of that platform and move back to YouTube and go, oh, I can't handle juggling views on 2 different platforms. So they might slowly just fade out. They might initially come over. You might get a huge surge of your audience, but then you're going to just dissipate into the ether, and you might still be earning your $500,000 until they go bust too. Oh man, it's so hard. I so want to see somebody win and take on YouTube, and like a real solid competitor that has like a good, it's probably always going to be that 80%, 20%, share of the market kind of thing. It's there's all this, market theory and stuff like that, economic theory that, someone will have 80%, someone will have 20% or something. I forget the name of all that sort of stuff, but that's most likely, YouTube will always be the 80%er. In terms of video, the place to go to get video. But if somebody else can really be a solid alternative for, a 20% or something like that, then yeah, that's great. But at the moment, YouTube's the only game in town. The only game, unfortunately. So, sorry, VidMe. Thanks for trying. And maybe, people could argue that, well, I should have put more commitment behind VidMe, but I already don't have enough time to support YouTube as well as I'd like. In terms of replying to reading every comment. I try to keep up, but You know, and trying to do that across many different platforms is just a ridiculous, like, you know, it's a 24, being a YouTube content creator is a 24/7 job. You never stop thinking about it. You never stop reading, you know, you get so addicted to, you know, reading the comments, looking at the, you know, how your videos are going, searching for stuff and watching other content and see how they're doing and, you know, things like that. You just get so addicted to being in there, it's hard to commit to another platform as seriously as you would to YouTube. So, unfortunately, well, yep, that's it. VidMe, Gonski. All my videos, I think, will be deleted in like 15 days. Oh, well. Thanks for trying, VidMe, but catch you next time.